The state of journalism. It's a good old fake news showdown because Ocasio-Cortez is furious, angry, and outraged that the media would dare fact-check her silly gaffes. Because, look, I've repeatedly said this, Ocasio-Cortez is like a left-wing Trump. She is a populist figure, and she repeatedly makes gaffes that are scrutinized in the media. I'm not here to tell you whether or not Trump is or is not wrong. The point is the media treats them very similarly. And now that Ocasio-Cortez is getting dragged across the coals, much like Trump has been, she's outraged. And now she's commenting on it, criticizing news. Where have I heard that before? It's really funny how the left says what Trump says is dangerous when he criticizes the press. Okay, tell me now about Ocasio-Cortez criticizing the press and how you're so angry about that too. We've got a story here, and I have a wonderfully beautiful citation that I want to show you, and you're going to love it. Ocasio-Cortez gets in Twitter feud with WAPO fact-checker. Facts win, but AOC claims victory anyhow. Amid a string of unfavorable fact-checks by mainstream media outlets, freshman Democratic Rep. Cortez has launched her own version of a war on the media. In particular, fact-checkers who say spend too much time analyzing the factuality of her claims rather than the morality of her sentiments. Ocasio-Cortez said people are too worried about being factually correct as opposed to morally correct. And as Ben Shapiro said, you cannot be factually correct, and I don't know what the exact phrase was, but you can't be both. He's right. You cannot be morally correct if you're factually wrong, right? It literally makes no sense. It's like, can we give all young people an invisible barrier to protect them from guns in schools? No. So if you came out and said, I would like to propose force fields for children, it's the right thing to do. It's morally correct to provide force fields for little kids in schools. Okay, I agree. But that's factually not possible, right? So you can't make these claims about things that aren't true and claim it's right. So, primed for the fight, the youngest woman elected to Congress and future of the Democratic Party took a preemptive shot at the Washington Post after the outlet contacted her office about another fact challenge interview. But the shot ended up backfiring and resulting in Ocasio-Cortez offering a qualified apology to an economist, but then claiming victory anyhow. As noted in the fact check, the Twitter feud with Washington Post's Glenn Kessler actually began before Kessler published his piece. Kessler's fact check, which Daily Wire covered here, took a closer look at Ocasio-Cortez's statements in a Martin Luther King Day interview with The Atlantic's Ta Nahisi Coates. Cortez said, I think it's wrong that a vast majority of the country doesn't make a living wage. I think it's wrong that you can work 100 hours and not feed your kids. I think it's wrong that corporations like Walmart and Amazon can get paid by the government, essentially experience a wealth transfer from the public for paying people less than a minimum wage. Well, first, a tax break is not being given tax money. Kessler started off his fact check by letting the reader know that he'd had a tense conversation with a spokesman for the Congresswoman, which was followed by the media-savvy Ocasio-Cortez attempting to preempt this fact check with a tweet. She said, I don't think billionaires should concentrate wealth while employing people who are sleeping in cars working a zillion hours to survive. Next day, that will be 10 Pinocchios to Ocasio. Zillion is not a number, and I found someone who sleeps in a tent, not a car. Well, I really appreciate that sentiment, Cortez. I really, really do. Because it leads me to a criticism I've had with the mainstream media for a long time. Most notably, this tweet. Fact check. Trump says Clinton, quote, acid washed her email server. She did not. More debate fact checks here. And they have this beautiful, beautiful little image. Nope, all big in the corner. The claim. Trump says Clinton acid washed her email server. The truth. Clinton's team used an app called BleachBit. She did not use a corrosive chemical. Seriously? As if anyone actually thought Trump literally meant that Hillary Clinton bought acid and poured it on her computer. Are you nuts? Acid wash is just a turn of phrase. He's making it's what is it, an analogy? No, it's a metaphor. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, he's not literally saying she poured acid on her computer. He's saying what she did is like acid washing something. It is a colloquial and relatable way to explain a complex idea. Should Trump have said, Hillary Clinton used BleachBit? It's an app that can do a DoD sweep of your hard drive, which means they erase the bits one at a time. No, that makes no sense. Trump said acid washed because he was trying to make a hyperbolic, he was trying to drive the point home as to what Clinton did with her email server. Thank you, verified NBC News, for letting us know that Trump's figurative statement was not in fact literal, or I'm sorry, you took it literally and then claimed it was not true. This was from October 9th, 2016. Welcome to the party, Ocasio-Cortez, how the media will take everything you say out of context because they want to drag you for ratings. This is why I think the Democrats aren't going to be able to survive 2020 and 2024, and God knows what after that. The media is going to go for the jugular. It's going to look for any opportunity to take what you say out of context to get those beautiful, beautiful clicks. And I'll tell you what, as the media dies off and we see 1,000 layoffs in the past couple days, they're becoming increasingly desperate. That means that, okay, there's a thing called death throes, the violent struggle someone engages in as they're dying. And that's what's going to happen with the media. And you are prime, Cortez. You are prime because you make exaggerated statements and false statements. They've smelled the blood in the water and they're coming for you and they're not going to let go. It's like a shark and a pit bull combined, swimming around, biting, latching on, and never stopping. And the more followers you gain, the more they will drive their teeth straight into the throat because they are bad people. And they don't care about what's right. They care about the ratings and they care about their paychecks. And when you tell them they will die if they don't do this, their companies are dying, they're going to say, okay, bite harder. So then, Kessler then got to the business of fact-checking her claims in the Coates interview, noting that her first claim that a vast majority of the country does not have a living wage is first based on a faulty premise because the living wage is not really a measure of income, but of living cost before taxes such as food, childcare, housing, transportation, and other basic necessities, and thus is not a simple universal number that applies to everyone everywhere. He then noted that her office sent him an article claiming that about 51 million households, 43% of all households, don't earn enough to afford a monthly budget that includes housing, food, childcare, healthcare, transportation, and a cell phone. That's not a majority, he pointed out. That article, he suggested, is flawed anyhow. Referring to a report for the left-leaning Brookings Institution, Kessler argued that real percentage of households earning less than $16 an hour was about 32 to 38%. Kessler then refuted the Congresswoman's claim that Walmart and Amazon pay their employees less than a minimum wage by simply pointing out both Walmart and Amazon do pay more than the minimum wage. Yes, the Post awards 3 Pinocchios for claims that contain significant factual error and or obvious contradictions, Kessler concluded. This is a legitimate fact check. Trump has also been legitimately fact checked. So has Bernie Sanders. And often you can see the bias of these fact-checking organizations, and they're apparent. Snopes apparently hasn't yet. Maybe they did recently, but they still claim that Nathan Phillips, the Covington Native American guy, never claimed he was a Vietnam vet. Like days after, we know he did. On Facebook, he said he was. Okay, the evidence is there. He said he was. Why don't the fact-checking organizations do anything about it? I have no idea. Even Washington Post's writer noted this on Twitter. I don't know if he updated, but he said he was going to. Snopes, where you at? So the funny thing is, it's pure irony, I suppose. Anyway, we'll read on. In a back and forth chronicled by Hot Air's John Sexton, Ocasio-Cortez took to Twitter and engaged in a multi-day feud with Kessler, which included the representative falsely claiming Kessler used a report by a Walmart-funded think tank that actually ended up being a report by the former chairman of Obama's Council of Economic Advisor under Obama, Jason Furman. Bravo, Cortez. More false statements in your recurring false statements. Beautiful. After Cortez suggested Furman probably left government to collect a lobbyist check, Furman, who's no lobbyist, eventually weighed in to inform the representative that the paper was not funded by anyone, but in fact produced for a conference hosted by the left-leaning Center for American Progress. And so Cortez said, if the point of fact-checking is to enforce some objective standard, why would Glenn Kessler use a Walmart-funded think tank as reference material for wage fairness? Oh my God, my brain. That's like citing the foxes to fact-check the hens. Here's 4 Geppettos for your contested Pinocchios. Oh my God. And then he has to correct her again. Check the name of the author, Jason Furman, chairman of Council of Economic Advisors under Obama. He's someone I have known for 20 plus years, and he is simply citing some basic economics. I included the link only because his discussion of the economics was detailed and thorough. She said, revolving door politics doesn't care what admin a person worked for. The truth is many folks come to government to collect a title and leave to collect a lobbyist check. WAPO itself touched on this by covering the Harvard orientation. You're legitimizing that by citing this study. He's no lobbyist. Here's his bio and a profile. See, here's the thing. I agree with Ocasio-Cortez in that regard. I am very concerned about people who get into government and then use the revolving door politics to get high cushy jobs and back and forth. You become a high-ranking person at a corporation, and then all of a sudden you get a job overseeing that corporation. This is bad things. But what Cortez is trying to do is this is a non sequitur argument, okay? Revolving door politics has literally nothing to do with the fact that Cortez lied or was wrong. I don't want to imply that she knew she was giving false facts, false information. So Jason Primo responded. So here's Jason Furman. He said, "Thanks for the respect. The paper was done for a conference." Okay, we know that, but basically you can see that the dude actually responded, and he's not a lobbyist. Her Walmart-funded claim debunked. Ocasio-Cortez offered an apology to Furman, but then went on to claim victory over WAPO despite failing to accurately fact-check his fact-check. She said, "I am criticizing the rationale of saying we should trust a questioned source paper because of a standing friendship and ex-admin, because neither preclude the possibility of revolving door politics." Oh my God. Oh my God. She's Trump. She's literally Trump, okay? She's not as powerful as Trump is, okay? Not nearly. He's the president. She's not. But she is, expect more. Populism begets populism, and she's the left populist, and she is Trump. My God. My God. Too good. Okay, I'm done. I've got one more video coming up in just a few minutes. Stick around.